Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakun.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining me on this Tuesday. And just wanted to say hi to everybody. But we're going to start off with maybe not the greatest news. And selfishly, Adam, I'm hoping to say this without losing everybody watching and tuning in. But we're not going to have Psychic Medium Refined Divine tonight like what we were hoping for. She is dealing with a migraine at the moment, and she is unable to join us. And, as much as it really, not upsets me, but I feel bad that she's unable to join. I was with her this weekend, or at least Sunday, at her event in Rochester, and I know that she had quite the weekend. It was really... I know there was a lot of stuff going on there. So I know that, and that may not have anything to do with anything, but from what I could see, she was very, very busy. She had a lot of stuff going on. She had the retreat on Saturday. She had the event on Sunday. Maybe it has nothing to do with it, but, I wouldn't blame her. Let's just put it that way. So, folks, once again, Psychic Medium Refined Divine will not be able to join us tonight. I saw that I have questions in different areas, like email and stuff. I will hold on to those, and we can ask those when she's back on again. Which I will find the date of when she's going to be back on. It'll be 2 weeks from this Wednesday. And the whole reason why we were not going to have her this Wednesday is because more than likely, for those listening on the radio station, we're going to probably be preempted because of the Democratic National Convention tomorrow and Thursday. But for those who watch the streams, I will have an episode tomorrow and Thursday. There will be older episodes back from the archive, if you will, one going all the way back to 2021. I think that's even before you joined us, Adam.
Yeah, if it's prior to like March of 21, yeah, that is probably before me.
Well, it's May. But,
it may not have been me, though, because I was every other week at that point.
Yep, it was a Patrick episode. And backwards or forwards, it was still Patrick. And he was, they're good episodes. We'll talk about them in a bit. So for those of you who had wanted to hear her tonight, I do apologize, but we'll get her on. Just wanted to say real fast about the event is that we had a great time, and I had a really fun presentation. I was really enjoying it, and I want to do a shout out, and I doubt he's listening, to a person I met over the weekend. His name is Thomas. He's a young fellow who is really into the paranormal, starting out. I believe he's like 12 years old, and he was telling me all the stuff that was going on in his place, where he was telling me about what he did and how he's, very much into it, and that the research he's doing and what he had to do in his own house. And luckily, I was able to get him to help me during my presentation. He was holding a piece of equipment that he would let me know if it went off or not during it. It was a very important part of the presentation, and I was very grateful he took part. And, we just had a great conversation that whole day Sunday with him coming by and us chatting about the paranormal. And it was a great time, Adam. It was really a lot of fun to engage, and a lot of people came by to say hi to us.
Had to be good to see someone who wasn't, someone of our age or thereabouts who has an interest in this field, because you don't really think it going to the younger crowd too much, because they really shouldn't be thinking about beyond, you know what I mean? Yeah. Especially beyond the mortal coil.
I thought you were going to say that it's it must be really refreshing to meet someone not jaded in the paranormal.
That too, because the kid's 12. They're too young to be jaded at this point, I think.
No, he acted like he liked it. So there is that as well. No, he was great. And I had a lot of people come by on Sunday telling me that it doesn't necessarily mean that they listen all the time, and doesn't mean they may ever listen at all. But there's been a number of people who said, I've heard of the show. I listen when I can. I've listened to a couple of them. I love all those. Those are fantastic comments to hear, and to know that you and I are making headway into people's lives like that, whether they like it or not. We're there, so that's
make a difference. That's all you can do.
Yeah, absolutely, it was. And the thing is too, one thing I don't know if I can express this in a way that's not weird sounding, because you kind of had to be there and have the graphic for it, but to see what I'm doing here. But at the end of the conversation, or at the end of the day, excuse me, Nancy, who I see on our chat, her and I were talking, and Thomas was kind of just hanging around, and I thought he was listening and stuff, and he was like the whole weekend, the whole evening, or the whole Sunday. I'll eventually get the word right. He just, been very polite, and he wasn't breaking in to saying anything. And he just kind of leaned over to me and put a sucker on right in front of me, just like a candy sucker, mm-hmm. and just backed away like as a gift to me, just a little gift to me. Like, I want you to have that.
That's very cool.
And I was just like, and me, I my heart's made of like coal.
You're like the Grinch before it, gets 3 times too big, which is a medical condition, but that's beside the point.
No, I mean, it will be a early demise for me, but it warmed my heart. It was really sweet. It was really sweet to see.
It sounds like you actually had a moment, Greg.
We did. It was very nice, and I went over and. I went over to talk to his dad and just said, you got a good kid. You got a really good kid. His name, the father's name is Tom.
Oh, right on.
Not to be confused with his son's name, Thomas.
Right.
So I was confused, as you can imagine, but it was really cool. So it was really neat. Now, folks, first of all, with this change, we always have stuff to talk about. You know that we always have things to say. But if there's anything on your mind, any topic or anything, feel free to put it in the comments or give us a call, 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. Let us know what you want to talk about tonight, about anything. If there's been an episode that you've listened to and you want to expand on a topic from that or whatever else, let us know. But it couldn't be one of these episodes without some kind of question to you all either. And the question that we have tonight, because we don't have Refined Divine with us, put in the comments or give us a call. I'd love to know, what is the best reading that you ever got from a medium? What was the best reading you ever got from them? And what in that reading was just eerily accurate, that, it's just like, it can't just be like, you're going to wake up tomorrow. It has to be something that is just like, whoa, how on earth could you get that? Or even if it's not like something that was going to happen and it did happen, maybe something that they read about your life that no one else would have known about. I remember years ago, somebody who I knew was a medium, and we're doing a gallery, and she looked at somebody and she's just like, what is it with you and the bees? you did work with bees, didn't you? And they're like, I make honey. You know, it's stuff like that. I want to know about those moments. Can you put those in the comments? Could you give me a call? I want to know about them. And in the meantime, I do want to read some comments that are coming through because it's, we're going to have some fun tonight. And I'd really like to expand about stuff. And I see some good stuff here. I mean, of course, I don't know what it is about the chat room that some people, they feel like that they need to be extraordinarily very honest. So Emily says, was shaving my legs, thought I would be late, but magically I'm not. What do you do with that? I mean,
the honesty of our
paranormal.
Well, I don't know if that's paranormal or not in Emily's world, might be beyond the normal, but it is kind of nice that our listeners are that open and honest, which means when they put stuff in the comments and call in, we know it's a real story.
I mean, first of all, we know it's not a bot. That's for sure.
Yeah. There's a couple we've had on that might have been bots.
Right. So, yeah, that's interesting. Let's see here. A lot of people in the comments tonight are thinking of Deb. I will definitely pass that along to her. That that a lot of people are hoping for a nice recovery, get the rest you need, take care of yourself. I never had a migraine. I've had bad headaches, but a bad headache is not a migraine. So, do you get migraines?
I've had them a couple of times in my life, and they are absolutely miserable. I get very light sensitive, even get a little bit of, what's that called? When, you can't stand up, your equilibrium's gone. Yeah. I've had them a couple of times, and they are nasty.
No, that's too bad. That's tough. I mean, like I said, I've had some bad ones, but I'm saying you had a bad headache is insulting to people who've had migraines. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like, yeah, I've had a bad headache once. It took like 4 Advil to get rid of them, and they're just like, you should die now. It's just, it's just like, man, what planet are you from? Are you serious? So yeah, going through some of the comments here. Let's see. Damien says, rerun Myth or Mystery. Greg caught new evidence. Well, don't you want us live though? Damien's just like, forget the new stuff. You guys don't have the guest you want. Put on a rerun. Thank you. That's really kind. So with that being said, do join us Thursday night on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakun Facebook page for Myth or Mystery, because I am going to be telling my Bigfoot story, but it's a Bigfoot-centric episode. It's going to be really something. The folks, Miriam and Harlow and Ryan, they're really excited. We pulled some different types of videos that don't get seen very often that they're doing analysis on. It's going to be a pretty special episode on Thursday. So let's see here. Why don't we go ahead and go into the phone lines once again. If you want to talk to us at all, give us a call, 952-946-6205. That's where we go right now to Carol, who is on the phone. How are you doing, Carol?
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much. Anytime that you hear someone having a migraine and you don't, you got to say you're great, because having a migraine, you're not great.
I get
right?
migraines, so I totally feel for her. They're horrible, so I wish her well.
Absolutely. What's on your mind tonight, Carol?
Well, you said to call in about one of the best readings that person has ever gotten.
Yeah.
And I had just recently gotten one from her, from Deb.
Right.
When she was here in Linden Hills at an art fair, at one of her psychic fairs, Carrie, my daughter, her husband, and my granddaughter and I went to see her. And we each had a reading from her. And so I went up first, and I sat down with her, and she says, oh, it looks like this is a meaningful place. Linden Hills is such a beautiful little community area, And I said, yes, my husband. I said, I have a lot of memories from my husband working here. He used to own a meat shop, And she she said, oh, yeah. She says, okay. And we were talking. Pretty soon she goes, oh, he's coming in strong. She says, he's a strong spirit, she says. And we're talking, and she goes, stop, wait a minute, smell that. And I go, what? And there's no food carts around. There's nothing around us. It's just like in a park. And she said, do you smell that? And I go, hot dogs. She goes, yes, hot dogs. I go, oh my gosh, I smell hot dogs. I said, that was one of the best things he had in his meat shop was they were known for their hot dogs. And she goes, oh, she says, he's so funny. He's sending you hot dogs. And then we're laughing and we're talking, and she goes, oh, stop. And in the middle, she goes, do you smell that? And I go, I smell flowers. She goes, yeah. She goes, I see daisies. I go, that was what he used to always buy me when he was alive. He would always give me daisies. And she'd say, yeah. She goes, then we're talking, and pretty soon she goes, oh, stop, Carol. She goes, do you smell that perfume? And I go, yeah. And I thought, is it mine? And she goes, no, it's not you. You don't have that strong a perfume on. She goes, and she described the bottle, which had a swan on it, and it was my mom's perfume.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like she named 3 people that were very, that were important to me, and brought it on with smell. It just blew me away. And then she takes my granddaughter on, and
sure.
Of course we're not standing there listening to each other. We're waiting on the other end of the other side of the table, kind of in the street there, waiting. And my granddaughter, who comes out, and she goes, wow, Grandma, she says, I'm supposed to give you a message. I go, what? She said, well, she didn't tell you, but she says, Ron, who was my husband who had passed away, she says he was letting us know that he's okay, that he was okay with going into war and suffering the way he died too early because he was in the Vietnam War and got Agent Orange. And she says he was taken, even though he was taken away too soon, he was happy he did it, and we are not to feel bad, that he was proud to serve. And she mentioned his Vietnam War and him being ill and taken away too soon.
Wow.
And she says, I'm supposed to tell you. My granddaughter, Cody, says, I'm supposed to tell you about this. And I went, oh my gosh. She goes, so did you mention to Deb that he died in the war? And I went, no, we didn't even talk about that. So it was just like one after another. And then she read my daughter, and she mentioned specific things for her. So all of us got such specific readings that no way would she know.
No.
Because we just walked up to the table, said, yeah, we want a reading. She was busy reading someone who wasn't, like they say, oh, they look you up on Facebook and they all check out your history. There's no way. She didn't even know who I was till I came to her. And she goes, you're Carol. She goes, I know you from Ghostbox. I go, yes, I love Ghostbox.
Well, she also gave you a pretty pivotal reading on the air, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah, she has. She mentioned my lost twin.
That's right.
Who my spirit guide was. I was always wondering, who is Maxie? Because I've had this little spirit with me since I could walk and talk. And it's still with me. And I remember asking her, who in the heck is Maxie? I thought maybe it was a guide or somebody. She goes, that's your twin that you lost. She said, and she mentioned Maxie in the reading also, and then brought up my granddaughter, who also was a twin and lost her twin. It was like she just brought up all these different things with our family. She would have no way to know any of that, and was spot on with every single thing she said.
That's incredible. Now, Carol, are you around Friday at all by any chance?
This Friday, I'm not sure. I'd have to look.
This current Friday when we do our show.
Oh, I probably will be.
If you are, please consider giving us a call, because if you're open to it, you had mentioned in that comment when we posted that reel from last Friday of you telling what was going on. I would love to have you on Friday to talk. You said that there's a lot more to it. Anything that you'd like to share with that experience that you feel comfortable sharing, we would love to hear it if that's okay.
Oh, sure. Do you mean about the
Your granddaughter and in the room
Oh.
and the ring around
Yes,
the rosy
yes,
and all that?
Yes. In fact, I talked to my daughter Terry because she comes on with you all the time too.
Okay.
When Deb's on, and I had messaged her, and I said, "Guess what your segment was about when asking, is there anything spooky or anyone's found a, spirit in a doll and stuff?" I said, "Terry, I had to bring it up." And I said, "I only touched on it." And she laughed. She goes, "Oh, wow. So I should have her also come on."
Please do.
Because she could give you the full story.
That sounds perfect. All right, Carol.
Yeah,
We're up against the break.
I appreciate you. Thank you. But I wanted to let you know, Deb's a real thing, everybody.
Absolutely. That's great. And I hope to hear from you Friday and Terry as well.
Yeah. I will tell her about it. Yes.
Thank you so much. All righty. Have a great night. And thank you for calling in. Why don't we do this? Let's go ahead, take our first break. When we come back, we got more people in the comments. Anything on your mind? Let's just keep this going. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. And welcome back to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. My name is Greg Bakun, joined tonight by Adam in Eden Prairie. And for those tuning in to get a reading from Psychic Medium Refined Divine, unfortunately, she is unable to join us tonight because of a migraine. But please continue to listen and watch tonight. We'd really appreciate it. In fact, we're kind of talking about a lot of different things tonight. We're going through the comments and what people are saying, what the people are looking for to talk about. And I do have a question I'm throwing out there for people who want to answer tonight. I'm just curious, what is the best reading that you got from a medium? What was eerily accurate? I'm just curious to know what that is, because normally we'd be listening to Deb really wowing people, and she's taking a night for herself, and let's hope that she gets some rest, and Dave as well, because I see firsthand what they're doing to set up, tear down everything. It's incredible. And Adam, when you saw them in Maple Grove, you saw their setup as well. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's like they've got a mini shopping mall next to where Deb is setting, where she's doing the readings. They have, the crystals. They've got socks, which I'm actually wearing a pair of tonight, So they've got a lot of stuff. And, yeah, he was talking, I think before we all left from Maple Grove, he was saying it takes about an hour and a half to tear down, a couple hours to set up. So, yeah, so if an event starts at, 10, they're there probably 7:30.
Yeah,
to get everything set up before the doors open. So
and I stuck around because I had dinner with them Sunday night, and because they asked me if I want to have dinner with them, I wasn't going to just be like, sure, I'll just be over here waiting. I was helping them tear down a little bit, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, they're putting the hall back together. They're doing a lot of work, so it's a lot. So definitely want to kind of definitely hope that they're getting the rest and take some time and recharge, right? Let's see here. We got some people in the comments, and let me see here. Where do we want to go next? Let's see, because a lot of people are talking about the kids these days. Linda Judd says kids are more supportive these days. I've seen a video of an 8-year-old and his mom. She asks him questions about the world, and he channels. Okay, that's cool. Annette says, hey, Greg and Adam, come down for supper. Homemade chicken pot pie and Dutch apple pie for dessert. What do you think?
I'm down for that.
Should we just stop now and just head on? I don't know where. She's not in our state, first of all, but, should we just call it quits for the night and head on down?
Yeah, I'll just start hitting the space bar over here on Simeon until it starts to get to a satellite show. We're good.
And just rerun the DNC tonight,
I'm sure that recorded somewhere.
Somewhere, I'm sure. Let's see here. Let's see. Sierra says, my team is starting Parakids Academy this year to teach the younger generation how to investigate. Eventually, we won't be here, and we'll need someone to carry the torch. So yeah, let's see what else we got here. There was one I was going to. Annette says, I really wish I knew how to tell if someone is fake or real. And I think you mean medium, right? I mean, not human.
Mediums are human.
Did you say mediums are not human?
No, I said mediums are human. You're like, because I thought you said that are human. It's like, yes, mediums are humans.
There are mediums that I don't think are human. And I'm not kidding. And I'm not kidding when I say that at all. I mean, there's one, she's been on the show, Suzanne Worthley.
Oh, yeah.
You're alien. You are not of this planet. And she just like smiles at us, you know. And
didn't she refer to herself as a star person though?
Yeah, she's a starseed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
That's what she said. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as a medium, fake or real, I mean, you know, it's like, first of all, if you are getting like readings, like, you know, I remember I had one person on the show years ago when I was on KCOR in Las Vegas, and I had someone on, and he reads, you know, he's a medium, and he was telling me that my dad is really proud of me, and my dad had passed. He's like, your dad is very proud of you. I'm like, oh, that's nice. And, you know, I asked, what about my mom? And because I didn't want to, I didn't ask the question as if, what about, you know, my mom? What do you get from her? It's more like, I meant it more as like, what does dad say about mom? Because mom is still alive. And his response was, mom is very proud of you too. Yeah. And is like, I see. And also, he was the person I told as well, because I'm like, does my cat have anything to say? My cat Dave, at the time, he had passed away not too long beforehand. And he's like, oh, I think he said your cat's really proud of me too. But I also said to him, I said, I would have been more impressed if you would have just said meow. You know, I mean, that's what I was hoping for. Like, what did my cat say to me? Meow. Okay, that's fair. That rings true. So yeah, no, it's. I think, in my opinion, the more general the information is, it might make you feel good. But when I'm hearing that my dad's very proud of me, to me, that's just like, well, you know, I'm happy to hear that. That's good. I guess, I don't know. I guess I want to know is like, you know what? I'm so happy that you put all of my Army medals in a case over your fireplace. I'm so happy for that.
Yeah, something a little bit more specific, like Shar or Deb will come up with when you're talking to folks like them.
You know, the first this medium that I had talked about, that's about the bees. I did another gallery with her. This is a while ago, and the first person that she read, she said to them, he stepped away before the pain hit him. And they're just like, what? And she's like, your son, he was hit by a car, right? And they're like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, he stepped away before he never felt the pain. His soul stepped away. And some of you who are listening will know who I'm talking about, who did the reading. And, you know, those are the things that you have to, you know, those are the things that, you know, it's like we had someone a couple weeks ago testing Deb. I'm not a big fan of it. Deb was a real big fan of it. She actually really loves that sort of thing.
No kidding.
But we've also talked about the fact that there are people who really try to stump a medium, or that they clam up and they don't want to admit that they're right. I've seen that as well. But I mean, to me, it's always that general sort of thing. And it's always yeah, you're going to meet somebody, just give it time. It's out there. Or, yeah, the so-and-so is proud of you. And they just, you know, just keep going. And also, this is a big one for anyone listening. If you are getting a reading from someone and they're like, and you paid them, like, there's nothing wrong with paying a medium for a session. That amount is set up front. Okay? That's amount set up front. And you, like, it's $60 for an hour, $120 for an hour. Some are charging $700 an hour, you know, whatever. But the thing is, if you're doing the reading and they're like, you're in a bad place, you need to pay a ritual to happen. If you need to pay me $150, and I will put that money towards in the tribute to your soul and to make sure that whatever bad's going to happen is not going to happen. That is a scam that some mediums that are very irreparable, people I do not deal with at all, they will try to get money, and they'll spin it in a way that you need to pay them so that you can stop certain things from happening to you. You know what I mean?
So it's kind of like a mob boss, if you will, from back in the day. You know,
it is.
Pay your local insurance, and nothing bad's going to happen.
And there is no tribute happening.
No,
there is nothing. Yeah, go ahead.
And to me, that's almost like, going back to Annette's question here, and not to, because Deb's not on, and just because she's not on and she also sponsors the show, I'm not saying this just because of that. When Deb did a reading on my wife, one of the free meeting things, I know Deb hopped in to read me real quick. And how I felt that is you could feel a tingling sensation in your face, throughout your body, if you're getting read properly.
Well,
at least I do.
Well, and the thing is that she jumped in, read you, and she's had a migraine since. So
maybe it is me.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think you got to be careful there a little bit, because she jumped in to read you because you two are so close. But the etiquette is that you don't read somebody unless you get their permission. So what you two are doing, that's different. Mm-hmm. But like if I've been in a situation that there was a medium who may have been on our show before thinking that he is Walt Disney, when I met him in Los Angeles, I could feel him read me, and it's the same thing that you've just described. And I just like, you got to stop. You have no right to do that. There's another one, a big name in the Twin Cities here, is doing a show, having her as a guest back in the KCOR days, and during break I could feel her reading me. I'm like, no, that's not allowed. Do not do that. You got to ask my permission first. You just cannot do that. So
if it wasn't Deb, I probably wouldn't have just let her in.
Well, the thing is I don't even think she tried to read you personally. I think because you and Danielle are so in sync with each other, you two truly are.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's actually fairly sickening. But the thing is like I just think that just is what happened.
It could easily be too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that that's the way I saw that. So, first of all, and that's the biggest one. Anyone who's asking for money after you've already agreed on a price, danger Will Robinson. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to say about that. You really want to make sure that you're careful with that. Also, real fast before we head off to break here, Carol was talking about that reading with Deb where she could get those smells and stuff. And there's a medium that I had gotten readings from Ireland, and she's really good too. And so she was weird. She gave me a reading. I'm in St. Michael. She is in Ireland, and she was telling me about a relative, and all of a sudden, I got this immense smell of cherry tobacco. It's just overwhelming, just so much. And I said to her, I got this cherry tobacco smell, and it went away. And all of a sudden, and we're doing like a Zoom, and all of a sudden she's like, and it's really crazy that someone like her is surprised. She's like, oh my God, it's here now. I can smell it here. And I was just like, wow. And then it went away from there, and it came back over to me. And I'm like, wow, okay. I don't know what's going on here, but all righty.
Aren't phantom smells the best, though? To me, that's like the best paranormal experience, is that phantom smell.
Well, and it's one of the clairs, and that's a clair that I have kept with me for a very long time, and I agree. Those are really something. Why don't we do this? Let's go ahead, take our next break. When we come back, once again, if you're all fine with this, I'm enjoying going through the comments and seeing what everyone has to say. Feel free to call in 952-946-6205. And we'll just kind of keep this going. Once again, unfortunately, we don't have Deb tonight, but, the show must go on, and I believe it's going pretty well. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. And join me tomorrow on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakun. We're actually going to be running a replay because of the DNC convention tomorrow. We're not sure if we're going to be preempted. We're going to start late, and I don't want to bring in a guest and not be able to know when we're going to start. So we're going to run an episode from May of 2021, and it's with host and executive producer Dr. Whitney Braun from the Discovery Channel documentary Undiscovered, The Lost Lincoln. There is a photo of that Dr. Whitney Braun believes it's Lincoln dead in the bed being at the Peterson house right across the street from Ford's Theater. Is it? We've never really been able to find out, but what she did to kind of do the research, it's really interesting. It's a great episode. Please check it out tomorrow. And then Thursday, we are going to be playing a replay with lecturer and author Dale Kaczmarek. We're going to be talking about stories about the haunted White House. There's a lot to talk about there. We didn't even get through everything. So that's going to be on Thursday. But please do not forget that Myth or Mystery is on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakun Facebook page. That's going to be Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is a lot of fun. It's a great panel show. We look at videos and we decide whether the videos are myth, mystery, or unknown. But even better, it's not just us talking about it. It's the audience. They're voting. What do they think? And that's a lot of fun. So please check that out. That's new, and that's Thursday. Let's see here. Damien, I have to bring this up because Damien is watching online, and I appreciate it. Damien says, internet really did change word, gave instant access to information. I just hate adverts. I remember days before adverts, ha, ha, ha. And, I'm not a big fan of certain adverts either, but I'm a big fan of the adverts in this show, mainly because, first of all, they keep the lights on at where Adam is, and they help me pay my bills and stuff. And I'm going to be honest, everyone who advertises on Ghostbox Radio, they are people who run small businesses who are just trying to get their word out, get their program out. As you can see, the sponsors that we have, they're all related to the type of show that we put on. So they're really not out of the unknown here, and they're good people, and their businesses deserve the chance to thrive. And that's where we come in. We do try to help businesses, and it's kind of a sustainability between us being a small business, AM 950 being a small business, and the small businesses that we're here to help. And I know that you didn't expect a big thing from it, but I do want to point that out because there are reasons why we're doing ads. We just need to, and it's sustainable to both them and to us. So thank you for putting that in there. Let's see here. Anything to add to that, Adam?
The only advertisements I like are the ones that supply my paycheck.
And those would be the ones.
Those would be Gritty Gear, Refined Divine, Mavericks, Magus. What else we got?
Well, and here's the thing. We know that because we use all of these sponsors,
mm-hmm.
we custom them. We go to their places. You hear me talk about Mavericks all the time, Magus. We're wearing the gear that Gritty Gear is putting together. We're taking the trolley tours. We're doing everything. We're going to have a table at Twin Cities Con. This is stuff that is, we're just a community. That's really what it comes down to. So no, I understand. Would love to keep the conversation going, and sometimes we would too. But we got these cool people that we're going to promote as well. Let's see here. We got a lot of comments. First of all, thank you all very much for sending us all of these comments. Carol said that she talked to her daughter, and I'm sorry, I called her Terry, and it's actually Carrie. I'm sorry, Carrie. And she said for sure she'll call in Friday to continue the creepy experience that happened at her home with the singing in the toy, etc. So that's going to be good. It's going to be probably a lights on night for you, Adam.
Oh, it's going to be, because after the show we started talking about Carol's story after we went off the air, and it's like, yeah, it reminded me of something that scared the bejesus out of me when I was like 16. So yeah. This is going to be nuts.
Yeah, no, it will be. Tracy, which, by the way, Tracy, I've been meaning to reach out to you and see how you're doing. She said she had a medium in Virginia. Tell me about a guy who got thrown into a bar through the window. I had witnessed the event a month prior. There you go.
I've never seen anyone thrown through a bar window before.
Do you want to?
I thought I was going to at one point in my youth, but never happened. But I figured it would look like a Gunsmoke or some sort of Old West type.
Well, and is it one of those things where they slide them down the bar first and then throw them through the window?
Oh, God, that would have been beautiful.
Let's see. Sierra, what phobia? Did I mention I have a phobia? I have many. And this is the level of friendship that I have with people. Please tell us that phobia, Gregory. I promise I won't use it against you. LOL.
Oh, wait. I know what your phobia is.
Yeah, it starts with an A and ends with an M, okay? Let's see here. I'm just kidding. Come on.
I thought it started with an I and ended with an M.
Let's see here. There was one I wanted to get to here. Let me just see here. This is Stellar Radio listening to me go through comments. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. It's called Boring Hour. This is what happens when we don't have Deb here.
It's called Pick and Choose, Pick and Choose.
Pick and choose. Well, and you're right. They're all wonderful, wonderful comments. They just, they can't all be. Sierra had a comment. I was looking for hers that she asked a question, and I can't find it, and I don't think she took it away or anything. Oh, here we go. What was your most memorable paranormal experience? One that no matter what, you'll never be able to forget. We've all, when I pause, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. It's not because I've had anything more amazing than anyone else. It is just kind of like, well, what could that be?
You know what? On my end, I'm just going to go with what made me kind of interested in the paranormal to begin with. When I wouldn't even say paranormal, but it made me just realize that there was something beyond this. My backyard, the first few years of my life, was a graveyard, and my next door neighbor was the Catholic Church in Middletown, Indiana, St. Vincent de Paul Catholic Church. There used to be a house there where there's a gazebo now with the Virgin Mary. But there would be nights where I would see people walking through the graveyard, and they were not actual people. So that's what made me realize, oh, they're all hanging out and still having fun.
That's something. That's pretty incredible. That's really incredible. Thank you for sharing that. That would be cool to see. There's been a few. I see John is on here. I would say even John, a couple weeks ago, our CE5, that will never leave me. But I don't want to talk about that quite yet. I want to talk to John about what he is okay talking about and whatnot. Or if he even wanted his name associated with it. And I've just been saying it. So there is that.
Well, there are so many Johns out there, so that kind of helps.
Not
John so-and-so at 1427 Richmond Avenue. And
yeah, right. With that, I would say, I don't want to. I like your story about the cemetery because it's not. It's interesting. It might be a little frightening because it's unknown, but it's not scary.
Yeah, and I think I was too young to be scared.
So I'm gonna take a page out of your book because normally I would say something about Feliska, but I think I'm going to talk about Gettysburg.
Ooh.
Which I think that I think just even like being in the battlefield at 2:30 in the morning and seeing the fog rolling down the hill at knee level, next thing you know, you're completely surrounded by all that fog. That's pretty cool. I think that's really neat. So yeah, I don't know. That to me, it's like, it's not scary, but it's like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah, and you've told me that story before too, and that one's just, I would love to have witnessed that. I really would have.
And what's really cool about that too is that you have so many, like all the trees and stuff around there, and really what's going on is that that everything's like silhouetted, and the skies are cloudy. But it's still, there's a light out there, and it's just really, really pretty incredible. Danielle says that she saw her grandma at the end of her bed.
Oof.
Did you know that?
No, I don't think she'd ever told me that one.
Well, there you go. Nice way to learn about your wife through comments on the radio show.
Well, I think she's heard all my stories because our daughter Morgan keeps prying my stories out of me.
Well, there you go. I mean, but they're good stories, and it's good for her to know, I think. I think, yeah.
I think so, too.
Perfect. Let's see. Sierra asks, has there been a location you've investigated that you would not go back to? If so, why? I think there's some places I've investigated that I would not go back with certain people. And one of the things is, and might sound a little elitist, and I'm trying to be careful with this. There are places that you go to with certain people, like if it's events or something, and you're showing people how to do certain things, or you're okay with how they investigate to a certain degree because you are not, it's not a serious investigation. Mm-hmm. But there are certain investigations that you're only going to do with people that you know, because you're in a situation where you are relying on your team. And if some of the people that you're not 100%, in sync with, that could be a problem. And for people who don't realize that there's a lot at stake when you're doing a paranormal investigation, you should really consider that, because you really are. You're putting yourself at risk for a number of things, and you got to be careful. You have to be careful. Adam, you know that from just what you've experienced, let alone what you've done with us. You've seen it.
Yeah, there definitely has to be a trust factor there. Not just because you're walking around a place in the dark. You got to look at it on a deeper aspect and make sure nobody's going to be doing anything that's going to, and I don't like to use the word, but it's the only one that's coming to mind, conjure anything that is bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think that's where I would personally, I mean, maybe there are places that I wouldn't go to, but none really pop to mind, to be honest. I want to pop up a comment here. Damien also said, do your research also. And that was about whether or not you know a medium, if you can trust a medium. That is absolutely wonderful advice. Mm-hmm. So before you go and do any sort of like readings or anything like that, go look them up and see what other people are saying and stuff. It is spot on. If you're talking about going to a fair and you see a tent and there's like a medium with a crystal ball in it, your mileage may vary. But if you're like, there's this person I've been hearing about, or this gallery I want to go to, do the research. It's out there. You can find out about people all the time, and if a lot of them are doing Facebook Lives and stuff like that, and go and listen to them and see what comes up. Damien also asked, what's your favorite equipment? Damien, my show's called Ghostbox Radio. Ghostbox Radio.
Yeah, that SB7 is awesome.
Ghostbox. Hopefully that gives you a clue into what my favorite piece of equipment is.
Yeah, those things rock. Oh my God.
We are running out of time. Sierra asks, what's your top bucket list location? Adam, where would you want to go?
Eastern State Penitentiary.
Take your time answering.
There's a weird connection for me in that place. First time I've seen it I wanted to go in. Haven't gotten there yet. I want to do Eastern State. I
want to do Lizzie Borden.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
I mean her. Sorry,
I know what you mean.
Home, and but I am. How do we put this? I'm not a millionaire, so you got that as well. That's. I would love to go out there. I'm not a big fan of the penitentiaries. It's just a lot of. Here I'm wanting to go to a place that someone, cut up for other people with axes, but the penitentiaries are a little bit much.
I don't know. Most penitentiaries, I wouldn't give the time of day to, but something about Eastern State, it's almost like it's calling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if you enjoyed this lively banter, because poor Deb had a migraine tonight, we'll be doing similar on Friday. That's our next live show. And Carol and Carrie are going to be talking about, from a comment that they made last Friday, about some very haunted stuff. And I think this is going to be really, really interesting to listen to. So definitely check it out. Plus, we'll do question of the week. Folks, don't forget, tomorrow and Thursday, replays because of the Democratic National Convention. But Myth or Mystery will be live on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakun, Facebook only, on Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. If that is not confusing enough, I don't know what is. So thank you all very much. Adam, thank you as always. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll see you, Adam, we'll see you Friday, and everyone else, we'll see you Friday too.